What's up, football fanatics? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show. I am your host, PL Culture. It's week 2 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully, everyone got off to a great start. If not, don't worry. I'll be here the remainder of the season to give you a heads up on who to start and who to sit. Bottom line, stick with your boy. I'll get you into those playoffs. So let's get started. Week two's top must start player of the week will be Mr. Wes Welker. Welker will be playing the Jets, who feature the world's greatest cornerback in Darrelle Revis. Revis will be locked up man to man on Randy Moss, which will leave Antonio Cromartie or their rookie Kyle Wilson left to cover Welker. That's a matchup that greatly favors Welker because Joe Flacco basically lit those two guys up last week. So look for Bill Belichick and Tom Brady to feature Welker in the underneath passing game to help neutralize that blitzing package from the Jets. And 10 catches, 100 plus yards, and a touchdown is very realistic against a great defense like the Jets. Speaking of defense, our next must-start player of the week would be the Patriots defense. In fact, if they're on your waiver wire right now, pause this, pick them up, and put them into your starting lineup. I don't care if you have the Ravens defense. I don't care if you have the Jets defense. I don't care if you have the Steelers defense. Play the Patriots defense this week if you can get your hands on them. Why? Well, the Jets offense is just that bad. They're terrible. They're horrible. Mark Sanchez, he's a turnover waiting to happen. And by their own admission, the ground and pound, smash mouth style of play is designed to keep the points down, which plays right into the hands of your fantasy football defense. With the Patriots coming to town, you know they hate the Jets and the Jets hate them. So Brady will be looking to light up the scoreboard. If that happens, then Sanchez will have to throw more than usual. If that happens, good things will happen for your defense. And our final must-start player of this week will be Mr. Tony Gonzalez. Now, don't let his two-catch, 35-yard performance last week scare you away. Pittsburgh played a great game on defense, and they basically shut down the entire offense for the Falcons. Now, coming home this week at the Georgia Dome will be Tony Gonzalez Day, basically celebrating him being the first tight end to ever catch over 1,000 passes. Now, with him having a big pregame celebration and a big memorial on the big screen, look for them to game plan for Tony Gonzalez to get him some looks, some touches, maybe even a cheap goal line touchdown or two to really make it his day. I look for them to feature him a lot in this game, and I look for him to respond with a nice bounce back game. Now we're going to move on to what I call the Homer Alert. Now, a Homer Alert, or a Homer pick in that case, will be one of your draftees that you went in maybe the first 4 picks, and you're keeping them in because of their name and where you drafted them. That could get you bit in the butt more times than not in fantasy football. So if you own any of these players, beware, look to your bench. It may not be what you think this weekend. Starting with Chris Johnson. Now, I'm a Nashville native, so I know my family back home in Nashville, Tennessee will kill me for saying this, but Chris Johnson is one to be on the lookout for not having such a great game. Yes, he went number 1 in most drafts. Yes, he's had 12 straight 100-yard games, but he's facing a tough Pittsburgh defense that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in the last 35 games. Johnson himself has never even had 70 yards rushing against the Steelers. They have a healthy Troy Polamalu back. They'll be having 8, 9, 10, 11 in the box. Mike Tomlin might even be in the box to force Vince Young to beat them. And also another thing you want to look at is the emergence of their backup running back, Javon Ringer. Now, last year, he showed some flashes, but they had Lindell White. This year, he's getting more and more touches. He's a physical running back. He stole one of Chris Johnson's touchdowns last week, and that trend could continue, especially when they start the drives inside the 5-4-3, those goal line areas. He may be a touchdown vulture in that regard. Next, if you own Larry Fitzgerald, that's another player that you may want to be aware of. I personally own Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm in a quandary because I'm looking to bench him this week. The reason being, he hasn't quite looked himself since coming off that knee injury. I don't know if it was the brace. I don't know if it's not having a good rapport with new quarterback Derek Anderson. Yes, he scored a touchdown, but overall he only had 3 catches for 43 yards and did not look like the Larry Fitzgerald of old. Let's all bow our heads and pray that he's not a victim of the Madden jinx if you do own him in your league, because this could be a very long season for us if he is. So if you have a multi-dimensional receiver that's on your bench, one that maybe does return duties as well, especially if you get return yards, you may want to take a flyer on that player instead. And lastly, Mr. Randy Moss. Yes, we did discuss him a little bit earlier. Cornerback Darrelle Revis will be locked up on him man-to-man the entire game. Revis did not allow a completion against him against the Ravens last Monday night, and he pretty much dominated the one-on-one matchup between him and Moss last year. Bill Belichick is a smart man. He's going to take the underneath things. He's going to game plan. He's going to do it whatever he can to get the ball into the end zone. And I'm pretty sure that he will not force feed the ball to Moss to satisfy Moss's ego, especially after Moss's tirade last week about the Patriots not wanting to keep him in New England. Bill Belichick is a very crafty man, and he does send messages. So he may even be freezed out in this game. Just something to think about. Hope this all helps you in week 2. Good luck. And in closing, I'd like to say that life is a sport, so always play to win. Good luck to you. God bless. I'm out.